America, land of the free, they say. And according to Zombieland, that falsehood is driven more so into our minds. Welcome to Movies Are Dumb Sometimes, and this is my review of Zombieland 2 Double Tap. If there's one thing that I probably will repeat a lot through these movie reviews that I do, and it seems like people don't care enough. There has to be some sort of sense of realism, because the movies, ultimately, otherwise actors wouldn't try to act really well. Actors want things to be real. That's why they go through all the training. That's why they put themselves through so much. So my question is, one of the most real things that is very not touched by Hollywood, because they hate guns, but they love guns because it makes them money. So this is my monopod, but I'm just going to treat it like it's a rifle or a shotgun. Shotgun, because Jesse Eisenberg's character, well, I forget his name, but he, what is his name? Columbus, Ohio. I should know that. I lived there for a couple years. But he's sitting there with his shotgun. In the opening sequence, I loved it. It was great. I loved how they did the opening credits. That was great. Except he would shoot his shotgun and he would pull the trigger and nothing would happen. And I don't know if you have ever shot a shotgun before, but when you pull that trigger, it goes multiple times. One time I went skeet shooting and I didn't shoot it a lot. I did. I was actually hitting the skeets that time. Like every single time that I shot, it was so much fun. But I shot probably 20 to 30 times. When I got home, I took off my shirt and there was this giant bruise. And a bruise doesn't happen when you pull the trigger and nothing happens. So, Jesse Eisenberg, you get an F for your acting ability. All because you couldn't do the simplest thing. Just pretend like the gun was shot. Oh, and there's unlimited ammo in this world, which is years after the first Zombieland. And it's just like, okay. I'm willing to suspend my disbelief, but, you have to explain things to me sometimes. I know it's a movie. I know it's not real. And that's where we have to talk about one line in this movie that basically ruined the whole movie for me. So, Columbus is with Emma Stone's character. Now I can't remember her name. They got this joke about how they're in, the Lincoln's bedroom or whatever, and Emma Stone doesn't like Lincoln looking right at her because the picture's there, so they blindfold it. He unblindfolds it, and she's like, what the F? And he's like, how can you blind the man who emancipated the slaves and who ended the Civil War? Now, if people didn't treat movies like they were documentaries, I probably wouldn't be too worried about it, except they do. So we have to address the point that Abraham Lincoln did not end the Civil War, and Abraham Lincoln did not emancipate the slaves. And it's not even a big deal that he did. Oh, okay, calm down. Because the rest of the world, slavery was ending anyway, okay? And we act like we were so great ending slavery when slavery had pretty much ended in most parts of the world already. So for him to do it at that point, which Lincoln has been noted multiple times claiming that whites and blacks shouldn't mix, so he didn't even see them, that they could be equals. And it's just like, okay, he did not emancipate. He emancipated the slaves. It was a war measure. If he really believed in it, he would have done it when he first took office, but he did not. And you can't say the Civil War was a slavery issue, because if you don't know about the Corwin Amendment, the original 13th Amendment was the Corwin Amendment, and what that was going to do was to take slavery out of the hands of the federal government so that each individual state could decide whether or not was going to have slavery. And if they were worried about Lincoln coming in, or whoever the federal government, if the South was really worried about losing their slaves, that would have ended it, because then each state could have said, yes, we're going to have slaves, or no, we're not going to have slaves. So this whole notion that slavery was even an issue, a major issue, like we all think it is ridiculous. And he didn't end the Civil War. The soldiers dying did. To give this man the credit, he started the Civil War. He's the one who just conscripted armies who had our first income tax in this country, who didn't go to Congress to start this war, shutting down newspapers, over 300 newspapers, because they were printing out like opinions against the war. He deported a congressman because from Ohio. Oh, hey, Columbus. Huh. He should know about it. But he deported this congressman from Ohio because the congressman was anti-war, especially anti the Civil War, in which Lincoln didn't go to get approval for at all. So we have like this big thing in this Zombieland where it's telling us, and like I said, if people didn't think movies were documentaries, this probably wouldn't bug me, because it's just a movie. Movies are for entertainment, but people will look at this and go, oh yes, Lincoln ended the Civil War, and Lincoln emancipated the slaves, and it's like, okay, there's so much to this. But sorry I went off on a rant there, but Hollywood needs to learn history, and they need to be responsible, but they also want the public schools who teach us this stuff. So, I sound like a crazy guy now. I don't really care, because I'm speaking the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. But Zombieland was a fun movie. I mean, I enjoyed it through. I don't understand how Babylon, so there's this place called Babylon where it's all peaceful and everybody gets along. And they melt down the guns, and somehow melting down the guns repels zombies, I guess. Because they have these super zombies now in Zombieland. I don't understand how, Babylon was never attacked. And then at one point, the catalyst for the climax of the movie, they set off a whole bunch of fireworks, and they act like that wasn't going to do anything, and I was just like, come on, think a little harder when you're making your movies. Why did they set off the fireworks? How did they get all the fireworks? Why didn't they know that these fireworks would attract the zombies? Why didn't these zombies ever come by here in the first place? And, it's because they melted their guns? I don't know. But, sorry. Most of the time, when I do these movie things, I'm not going to rant about Abraham Lincoln, but I felt if movies are going to be looked at as documentaries, they should at least get some of the facts right. So thank you for watching Movies Are Dumb Sometimes, where we talked about Zombieland 2 Double Tap today. If you liked my rant about Lincoln, go ahead and leave comments below. Tell me how you love Lincoln. Tell me how you hate him. I don't know, I love doing the research on this guy. But how did you enjoy the movie? Like I said, I had a good time in the movie after I got old. It took me about 5 minutes, but as you could tell, it was a moment in the movie that touched me deeply. And so I had to talk about it. So I appreciate your time today. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Thanks.